When Democrats like Swalwell, Eric Swalwell, are targeted by foreign intelligence, well, they get a defensive briefing. But when Republicans are targeted, they get prosecutions, allegations, defamation, investigations, and sometimes jail sentences. Now, that's a question that's been nagging at my next guest, Congressman Matt Gaetz. Congressman, big double standard or what?
Absolutely, Laura. You pointed it out correctly. Democrats seem to always get the benefit of the doubt when they're the target of foreign intelligence. And yet when those same foreign intelligence assets target Republicans, it somehow launches a very biased Department of Justice and FBI into a tizzy of accusations and an attempt to really deplatform conservatives from their government service, and even in the case of the impeachment, to try to deplatform Donald Trump from the presidency. Here with Eric Swalwell, we didn't just see a Chinese intelligence incursion. They were actually able to place interns in his office. And China wins when America is distracted, whether that's distraction and endless wars in the Middle East, or distracted with this crazy Russia hoax that, along with Adam Schiff, I would say Eric Swalwell was the principal advancer of.
Congressman, this is new tonight. It turns out that Swalwell spoke at the same event in 2013 as another Chinese spy. The Daily Caller reporting just hours ago. The event was hosted by the group led by Christine Fang, hosted by both Swalwell and Russell Lowe, who then worked for Dianne Feinstein. And the FBI had briefed her about the staffer. He left her employment after the FBI briefing. Congressman, we have Chinese spies infiltrating congressional offices, for decades, a top senator's office, and paying Hunter Biden a huge amount of money for what? For influence. So every level of government here.
Yeah, it may have started with Eric Swalwell and Dianne Feinstein, but China actually has a plan to screw all Americans, hollowing out our middle class with bad trade deals, stealing our intellectual property. And I'm really troubled that Speaker Pelosi would leave Eric Swalwell on the Intelligence Committee. I mean, what's next? Are we going to try to bring back the Anthony Weiner to serve on the Ethics Committee? Maybe put Jerry Nadler in charge of the Congressional Weight Loss Program? Eric Swalwell shouldn't be blamed because he was targeted by Chinese intelligence. He should be blamed because he should have known better. He should have come to the Congress and assisted us in focusing on China and their malign influence, rather than just trying to smear the president, undermine the presidency, not for any type of virtuous policy advancement, but for power. You see, that's why the Democrats are willing to look the other way as to China, because if China is able to help Democrat politicians gain power, then they're less, I think, apt to go after China.
Congressman, I actually think it's even worse than that. I think a lot of them really have already decided that there's no way to beat China. If you can't beat them, join them. I mean, I think a lot of them are just assuming that China is going to eclipse our economy. They have a larger standing army than ours. They're ahead of us in many ways in space weaponry. They have the Belt and Road Initiative. They have their tentacles in Africa, in Central America, even in South America. They're on the move everywhere. And I think a lot of these Democrats are like, I'll get my piece. I think it's that bad.
To the end of days, we're fighting for America. But I would suggest that the Chimerica dream has been advanced by the establishment of both parties. And the reality is that it's become a nightmare for our workers and our innovators alike. Now, we can still beat China because we have the more innovative economy, we have the global reserve currency, and we can make things happen all over the world in a way that they cannot at this point in time. But we should not just, assume that it's just going to stay that way. We have to have the type of focus and discipline that China seems to have. And when we see these vulnerabilities, like attacks on our politicians, we ought to shore them up. And remember, Laura, the first thing China did wasn't even fully illegal. They used our existing campaign finance system to try to go bribe American politicians. That ought to tell us a lot about how we need to become more resilient.
They think we're weak. They think our political officials will sell us out for very little money. And they think we're weak. They thought Trump was strong. They wanted Trump out. They were giddy when they thought Biden was going to win this. And I mean, Trump stood between United States and Chinese advancement, and they know it. And I think you're right, Congressman.
Well,
you have been phenomenal on this issue of China and standing up for the average American worker and businesses that are trying to survive and manufacture. And thank you so much for being here tonight.
This is Congressman Matt Gaetz. If you liked that video, make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on social media, and join us on our daily podcast, Hot Takes with Matt Gaetz, on your favorite podcast listening platform.